Hello and welcome to another episode of For Azeroth. I am one of your hosts, the true villain Manny. Living up to that name, I hope you guys were here for the pre-show. And of course, I am joined by my two wonderful co-hosts who suffer at my leisure. First, we will start with Sean. Sean, hello.
Hi, Manny. How are you today?
Plotting and planning, clearly.
Yeah. Feels good. Big day. Can't wait to talk about today's episode.
Okay, well let's get into it. But before we do, we definitely need to introduce the other co-host, Lex. Lex Rants, how are you?
I'm great. I'm ranting, so I'm having a good time. And I'm here for some more. Let's go.
Oh,
Okay.
now I get it. Lex Rants. It makes sense now. I didn't understand it till today. Now it all makes sense.
Well, normally this is where I would ask how your week in WoW would be going, but the week in WoW seems very tied to our first show, rather our first topic, and that would be this frog fight and how things are going in the WoW remix. So before we dive directly into that particular topic, I gotta ask, how are you guys enjoying Mr. Pandaria remix, WoW remix, this new mode, this new experiment? Let's start off. Lex, have you been diving in with any characters?
Oh yeah, I'm having the time of my life. I'm playing Hunter, which is going to be terrible because now my guild is going to have I'm going to have to decide between 3 characters for raid. So Godspeed to me. Wish me luck. But I'm having a great time. I'm really bad. I'm level 25 and I've been playing for like 4 hours. That's embarrassing. But it's great. I'm bopping right along. I'm talking to all the pandas. I'm seeing all I really do miss back when World of Warcraft had cutscenes that were just like the game characters smashing together. It's great. I'm having so much fun.
That's awesome. Okay, but level 25 is a thing, right? But
True.
like, where are you in the story though? Like, are you still like Jade Forest? What's happening in your little neck of Pandaria?
So first of all, I'm remembering I don't know that I'm actually 25. I might be closer to 30. I don't remember the last time I actually checked, but that doesn't really matter. So we just got like the big Shaw just came out of the jade sculpture and it like threw things around. I had to fly on the little dragon and then did shut down little rifts and then I had to go save people. It was really great. It was really fun. So
Okay,
yeah,
right.
we learned about Big Shaw.
Yeah, that is the climax to, I think, like the Jade Forest. So you are right there, having completed the first zone, closer to 30, 25, 30. Okay, roughly that area. And I'm glad that you're enjoying it. You're taking it at your own pace. And I gotta hand this over to Sean, because Sean, you, as you had been saying, world's slowest leveler, going to go through all of those story bits, take your time and everything. So Lex speeding through at like, let's say 30. Where are you at there, Sean?
Just carry the 70. I hit level 70 in 6 hours played. Now I want to clarify. I said I was the world's slowest quester. But yeah, I have a friend who. So unfortunately, I couldn't play MOP when it first launched. I was in London for the LFG event, so I missed out on the first 4 days of the event. I have a friend who was level 70 and had maxed out all of their gear already. And so when I started going in doing heroic dungeons, they were like, "Hey, you want me to come with you?" I said, "Sure." And it turns out the heroic dungeons go extremely fast when you have somebody who is in maxed out gear. So yeah, it was about 6 hours for me to hit 70, and then from there it has been a nonstop wild fun fest that I just can't seem to put down. But I am doing the zones. I am going through and questing through and reading the quests. I installed the dialogue UI add-on, which is gorgeous. It makes all of the
Ooh.
questing very cinematic and immersive. Gives you these cool zoom in over the shoulder angles for your quests, and it changes the quest background. It's beautiful. If you haven't seen it, Dialogue UI, definitely check it out. It's by Peter Yu, the designer of Narcissus. which is another add-on you should be using if you're playing Mop Remix, because it makes gem management bearable. But yeah, so I'm going through doing all the zones. I have fully completed every quest, every treasure, and 3 of the rares in Jade Forest and Valley of the Four Winds. And I have been full clearing every raid every day since my character hit 70 on Saturday.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah, so I really am the casual of the group is what we're learning.
It was great because I was sort of like, okay, I'm going through and I'm playing at my rate. I know I'm not like going to like go super fast because we had players who before the first day was out were already like diving into the end game, level 70 and everything. And that's going to like lead into what we talked about last week and what we're revisiting again today because the saga is not over. As we talked about last episode, there were some players who found a farm that where they would have these hyper spawns, as Sean had explained on that episode, and just get as many of the charms the bronze as they could to fuel their gear progression. And so Blizzard came in on the weekend and hotfixed that. But over the course of the week, we've had other farms discovered and then get hammered down with the nerf bat, and it's been this game of cat and mouse. Late last week, people noticed that some of the people, or many people who had been in those frog farms or other subsequent farms, were getting tagged in the game. It was like the data mine that they were being tagged as frog farmers. And people were like, oh, what's this going to be about? Well, this week, Blizzard came out and put a hot fix out. And the way that it worked is if you were noted as a frog farmer, you had a rollback to your cloak. That meant that if you had huge stats on your cloak, they got pulled way back. If you had a little bit ahead of what Blizzard deemed what very engaged players could achieve, you got a little bit of a rollback. So the rollback was relative to this point that Blizzard had determined this is really as far as we were expecting people to go. It did not affect gear that you had outside of your cloak. So if you had like dumped a ton of bronze from this farming and so forth into your gear, you still got to retain that gear. The other thing that happened is that characters who didn't engage with this bronze farming were given 3 quests. These quests became available at 50, 60, and 70, and gave you combined 40k bronze, which is a huge amount of bronze for those who weren't involved, but a very relatively small amount of bronze for people who may have been dealing with this farming. It felt like a middle kind of ground for a lot of people. So I know, and we even have in chat, Gaming Aspect being like, 40k is not enough. So there's definitely a question about this. But if you were a part of the frog farmers, you were not eligible for this quest on any character that was marked on that. This is not account wide. So if you create a new character and you were involved in the frog farming, that new character does get these quests. It's very much targeted specifically just to those characters.
This might be an unpopular opinion of mine. Can I just say this sucks? Like, this was nobody was cheating. Nobody was breaking the system. This was also the frog farm that people were using was an active farm that people engaged with in actual Mists of Pandaria. Like, Blizzard failed to double check that people could, that people were not able to farm. They gave us this game mode where they told us the whole point was that we were farming. The whole point was that we, it was, you were going to be blasting through everything. People found a way because they didn't balance properly to do again what they were telling us we were supposed to do, which was use this to get really sweaty and grind and go. And then Blizzard punished them for that. Like, and I say this as somebody who's a level, 25, 30, and was never going to be competing with people who frog farmed. Like, I don't know. This feels bad. This feels bad to me.
I agree. It also, I want to be really like it's a delicate subject because there's people whose emotions are running extremely high around this. So I want to like, I don't, I think Blizzard, I think the fix that they decided to implement to a community perceived problem was the wrong fix. I don't think it achieved the goal they wanted. But I really blame the community for this nerf happening because people were so vehemently, aggressively vocal that, oh man, these people are farming these frogs and they're getting this power level and they're way ahead of the rest of us. And now we're never going to be able to catch them. And it's so not fair. Like guys, it's not fucking oh, I don't know if we can swear. It's not pie. Just because somebody else is getting a bunch of bronze, you can get bronze. And it's so chill. You don't want to play that way? Don't play that way. But there are people who want to play that way. So let them play that way. You don't lose your mind when World First Racers do 100 splits in the first week of the raid and are max gear. This is basically the same thing in a 4-fun event that's going away in 3 months. So I sort of blame the community for the fix happening because of how aggressively they went after people that were doing these farms. And between the three of us and all the listeners, the frog power people aren't even the most egregious power abusers. The Ward of Salvation is. You can literally one-shot bosses. But I do think Blizzard made the mistake. So people's complaint was these players are too powerful. It's not fair. Blizzard attempted to rectify that by nerfing their cloaks, but leaving the actual source of their power, which is the leveled up gear. It's the gear that gives them the strength, not so much that cloak. And as was mentioned, we gave people 40K bronze and said, hey, here you go. But 40K bronze is nothing to leveling up your cloak. I think if they wanted to have addressed this issue, what they should have done was just cut the cost of upgrading your gear in half. And then that lets upgrading gear become more attainable for those people who aren't doing these insane mind-numbing farms. But they didn't do that. The cost of upgrading gear is still extremely high. And that's where the power lies. And I know because I've dumped every single bronze I have into upgrading my gear, and now I'm a straight blaster. And yeah, so anyway, I think it was a mistake. Whether or not you nerf the frog farm or remove it, fine. You want to take that farm away. They seem to be chasing the farms down. You want to take them away? Okay. Blizzard doesn't want us to play the game in that way. That's okay. But I think actively punishing people for playing in a way that they knew existed. And after 3 days of it happening, you could see it happening on the first day. Why wait 3 days? And on top of that, I'll pass the mic off in a second. I apologize. But on top of that, they didn't even get all of the people who farmed frogs, and people who didn't farm frogs got tagged. Like, we have a person in our guild who didn't farm a single frog and got hit. So it was like, I don't know how they determined who the frog farmers were. It just was, I feel like it was a rushed decision by them because of the perceived community perceived community anger towards these farms that don't really have any effect on it. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Sorry.
No, that's a lot. I'm gonna say that Lex, your opinion is actually not unpopular. It's very popular.
Quite popular.
quite popular. So I'm gonna give the unpopular opinion here. I do want to agree with you. This nerf is not about actually fixing the power balance. I genuinely believe this is a cautionary shot across the bow because it doesn't hit their main stuff, We know that Blizzard could roll back those characters back to a date in time. There were no suspensions if it was actually considered an abuse, right? There's a lot of things that Blizzard could have done, and this is so light on the touch. To me, it is more like, hey guys, don't make us do this again. Avoid doing these farms. Locking just those characters out instead of the account from here's some bonus stuff. Only rolling back the cloak and not addressing any of the gear, the ill-gotten gear, if it is considered ill-gotten, right? This to me felt like, hey, this is just, don't do these farms. We're adjusting it so some people can do catch up, but this is still a power fantasy, so we're not going to go that far. In my mind, what has ruined this experience more than anything that Blizzard has done has been the incessant argument about what Blizzard has and hasn't done. First it was Blizzard hasn't done anything. Then it was Blizzard did something, but it's too little too late. If they do more, the next group of people are going to come out and be like, Blizzard, come on, it was in the game anyways, just let us have it. And frankly, I don't want to do Mr. Pandaria remix anymore. I got what I wanted. I got all of the mounts that I want. I don't want to touch the end game because I don't want to deal with that. People who are kicking people out of groups because they're not doing enough damage. People who are screaming about a lockout bug that is apparently necessary because it's the only way to get power. Everybody chasing after whatever degenerate farm, and I don't play WoW to like kill whatever stupid thing that hyper spawns till my eyes bleed. That's not fun to me. That shouldn't be the way to level. So if Blizzard says, no, we're gonna cut that so that a more interesting way to level is available, fine, right? If Blizzard says, yeah, we're not going to touch those people because, hey, it's our bad, fine. But at no point was there a right answer to this. It was just people complaining that whatever answer was put forward was wrong. And it's so annoying. It's this experimental mode. This is the same stuff that's coming up after Plunderstorm, after Holly Longdale herself said, hey guys, give us a bit of patience. We're trying something new. This is not stuff that we've normally done. We're going to throw it out there. It may be broken or not. And people are expecting this to be better tuned than like any season in Dragonflight I've seen. It's ridiculous. Right? I don't care anymore. I'm covering it because guess what? It's my job. But you know what? I'll bleep it out. Fuck this. I'm done with this.
That is actually really fair, and now I feel kind of bad for how aggressively I was like, this is stupid at the beginning of this episode. I do think that not to make another way that Blizzard can fail, because I agree with you, right? Like it's a game company, this is an experimental mode. Like I'm none of this matters to me because I was never going to be competitive. Like so I'm really just like reflecting other people's opinions here. I think that there is something to be said that Blizzard is doing a really, really great job of listening to the community, which is excellent. And I want that to keep happening. But at the end of the day, the community likes to be angry. I say that as I love World of Warcraft. I love the community. I love the people that I hang out with. The community likes to be angry. And so I think there will need to be a point that Blizzard says, you know what? Like, I hear you guys are unhappy with this. Some people are having a good time. Alas, you have to be a little unhappy. And I think that is a line that Blizzard's going to have to be able to put down because, yeah, like I literally cannot think of one thing in this game that nobody's complained about, which is, like often is good. Like there is a need for feedback, and I am not remotely I love to complain. I complain about everything. It's my favorite activity. I read books explicitly because I know I'm going to hate them, and I want to be able to tell my boyfriend how much I hate them. But I do think that there is. It's so fun.
I've never read a book before.
Oh, it's great. Don't ask me which ones. I'll get canceled. But
yeah. Spoiler alert, it's next book on the Faz book club.
But I do think that there is a valid concern that maybe one of the reasons that this felt really unfair to me right off the bat is that it does kind of feel like this is what Blizzard told us to do. and then and then people did it, and then everyone got mad, which I think is maybe the piece that I was missing. And so Blizzard was like, okay, never mind, don't do that anymore. Like I did really feel like we went into Remix being told like get as powerful as you can as quickly as you can. And so
they literally said that. So.
Yeah. And so I do kind of wonder, Sean, if you're right that if this isn't just like this kind of was what they expected us to do, and then we did it, and then people got pissed, and then Blizzard was like, oh crap, I need to make people happy. Okay. And then they shut it down, even though they were telling us to do that. I'm sorry, Manny, I cut you off though.
No, I don't think Blizzard.
Sorry, I don't think Blizzard nerfed the frog farm or any of the farms because they wanted to nerf the farms, or they were worried about power creep or whatever in a mode that doesn't matter. I think they nerfed them because people were so vocal online. I 100% blame the community for all of it. I just think Blizzard made the wrong choice in the action they took.
Yeah, I genuinely feel that all of these adjustments are because the player experience is what they're trying to curate. They don't want people to feel that they have to do these farms. And so they go in and they surgically hit the farms that people are finding. But it's also a matter of, at the end of the day, this is an experimental mode. They were putting out like the interviews and they're like, yeah, no, people can get powerful and we're interested in seeing how crazy things can get. And like, I remember Soul Breezy did an interview about this mode, and he asked a question. So like, we're gonna see like one person like soloing mythic SOO, and the designers, the devs that were there specifically didn't answer the question. They're like, we're interested in seeing how far people can go, right? And then Soul jumped back in and was like, okay, so cool, we're gonna go see it. Like, I'm gonna answer because it's hype. And it's like, hey, listen, you can say whatever you want. You can build the hype to whatever levels you are. Responsibly, I can't say that every class is gonna be able to solo something. And if I put that out there, right, people can come back to me. People can come back to the devs if they said that. Feel free, guys. Send it to me on Twitter where the devs said you should be able to solo everything, because this is a question about like, hey, what is overpowered? And Sean, you've already called me on this a bunch of times. I always put these nuance. I'm never like 100% like just stick with something, because it's game balance, right? Like, if I have a character that can one-shot anything in melee, I think you can consider that overpowered. But then let's say I come across a mage and Lex is playing on a mage, or let's say a hunter, because Lex, you're actually playing on a hunter, and Lex has the forever freezing trap, so I can never catch Lex, and so she can kite me indefinitely. I never get my melee shot in, and I get killed. I guess Lex is overpowered. It doesn't take away that I was overpowered. I could one-shot her, but like, as long as Lex has this eternal trap, Lex is overpowered. But then, if Lex comes across you and you can never be CC'd, right, and you just do more damage, then I guess you're overpowered. But then you have to get close enough to me that I can one-shot you. And then we've got this entire thing where all of us are overpowered, but then all of us are kind of balanced in this paper, rock, scissors thing. And so like, when they throw out words like overpowered, I kind of go like, yeah, in what way? Right? Like, I got to 70, and I had that entire thing where it's like, yeah, these enemies are hitting me hard, but my mage could like blow them up before they even knew I was there, so I still felt overpowered. I was careful about how much I pulled because my CC couldn't control everything, but I still felt overpowered. I know if I was playing with melee and I was taking that much damage and I couldn't avoid it, I would feel that weakness a lot more. And there is issues with the scaling. Am I no longer overpowered because the scaling is getting harsher? Like, that's an entire question, and I know that people will go out there and they will be limited to 280 characters or whatever the hell social media they're on, and give their hot takes and remove all the nuance, right? But it's still such a fun mode to level through, and I would genuinely love to see how powerful I could get if the community wasn't expecting that power to be near instant and upset when other people get that power before they do. That is two contrasting things, and I don't like talking about the community as a monolith, and I don't like talking about the devs in a monolith, because I guarantee you, every week that we're in this, there are devs taking different positions and them coming to a consensus on it. Meanwhile, there are people in the community having different takes and none of them coming to consensus. So neither one of them. I want to just say, yeah, what the hell was Blizzard thinking? They don't understand in the minds of the player, because Blizzard is thinking a bunch of different things and the players are thinking a bunch of different things. So the mind isn't the same on either end. It's just a garbage statement that people put out there to kill all thought about it.
Right. I guess the hang up for me is I don't want somebody to dictate to me how I have to play the game. Right. And that's what is happening. Now, for the record, I have not seen any groups that kicked anybody out for not doing enough damage. If anything, I've only ever seen people with their maxed out characters helping people who are undergeared. So I realize that some people have said, oh, groups expect this, groups expect that. I haven't personally seen it, so I can't speak to it. But if a group expects it, just don't join that group. Start your own group. You know what I mean? My guild is running through it right now, and they have nobody's upgraded any gear. It's all just cloak power. So it's like, you know what I mean? Play the way you want to play. You want to level up to 70, 100 different alts? Level 100 different alts. You know what I mean? Am I screaming, oh, we shouldn't have that many alts? No, because I don't care. It doesn't affect me, right? You play how you want to play. I want to power my character up and one-shot the content because I just want it to be fun and sort of mindless while I grind with the cosmetics. Then just let me do it. It doesn't affect you, right? And this is, I mean, it's a problem not just in Mount Remix. It's a problem across Warcraft, across really society as a whole. If somebody else's actions aren't affecting you at all, then just be quiet. Just sit quietly and enjoy the game mode yourself, right? In whatever way you choose to enjoy it. If that's spending all your money on mounts, on Mog, if that's going and pet battling, if it's leveling up a character from every race, as every class, and every faction across the board, whatever you want to do it. But going on Twitter and spending your energy, I had a person come into my chat stream and tell me I was a terrible person and that I was ruining the game mode for frog farming. I wasn't even in the country. I wasn't even here. So all of the power my character has been gotten since Friday after the nerf happened. So they're just equating people who leveled up their gear with farmers. It's like, you know, just play the way you want to play, you know, and let others play the way they want to play. Blizzard was put in an unwinnable situation, and the player base put them there, as they almost always do. Yeah. So my takeaway from Remix is I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it because I'm playing it the way I want to play it. And I think others should play it the way they want to play it or not play it at all, you know? But the one thing I've learned is the PvE players in Warcraft are the worst. They cried about Plunderstorm and now they're crying about Mob Remix. I don't know what they want. I don't want Trial of Style all month. Will that help? Is that what you want, PvEers? Is that the only thing that will work?
They want a bunch of different things, and it's great. I like that we have these modes that have different things, and maybe it's better when it is tailored to a very specific type of play, because then it can be like set up around that and nobody's expecting it to be something different, and it's all focused that way. But we're once again in that point where people are going in, they want all these cool transmog and they want all these cool mounts, but because bronze has to serve that and the power gain system, if I was somebody who was concerned about power and also wanted to get mounts, I would feel bad every time I bought a mount, because that could go towards a gear upgrade. Do I say, okay, well, I'm gonna be behind all my friends. I guess I won't be able to play at the same level as Sean because I wanted to get all the mounts out of Pandaria? Or do I go, I guess I'm not gonna get the mounts until the very end because I want to keep up with the Joneses? And as much as I want to say, oh yeah, you're your own player and prioritize that, right? Because we're all adults here. The player base has clearly shown that to be a misguided and idealistic principle. So instead, we now point towards the developers and go, hey, don't make people have to decide between these two things. And then it becomes a question of like, okay, are we handing out bronze for gear upgrade and jade for cosmetics, and never the two shall meet, and then maybe that will make people happy because they now have a separate track? Or but then is that the hand holding this, and are we now back in the thing where it's like, Blizzard, don't tell me how to play, like if I want to dump all my stuff in, I should. Like, I just think it's an unwinnable argument if you don't just like control the narrative ahead of time. And that's the one thing I will blame Blizzard for. They really needed to, from the get-go, like, instead of being like, it's experimental, let's see what you guys do, be like, here's how we expect this to go, this is what it's going to be like. And anytime somebody finds something that kind of breaks from that, they can know that this isn't intended and expect divine retribution or whatever you want to count from the developers to come. I think that's generally it, because the disconnect is between a free-for-all, play however you want, get as powerful as you want, and Blizzard coming in after the point and being like, yeah, but not like that. And that's when it feels bad.
Yeah. And I think also we should keep in mind that this is a 90-day, and I agree with everything that you just said, but I do also think there is a part of it where like we could benefit from the reminder that this is not that serious, and if the power is an imbalance, it's not the end of the world. And if your friends are playing at a higher level than you, it's for 3 months. Like, they're gonna stop playing at a higher level than you. It's fine.
Yeah.
But no,
If
no,
your friends tell you they won't play with you because you're not leveling your gear up, you have shitty friends.
Yeah, I've been bad my whole life, and people still play with me.
Don't be friends with those people. They're not good people. They're the problem.
You are trying to get people to be self-reflective, and I thought we told you that's idealistic, and we don't go there. Anyway,
yeah, never mind.
I agree with
go,
Lex.
go yell at me on
Community wants
Twitter.
to be angry. I'm gonna help them get there.
No, I do think it's true. It is 90 days. We are less than 2 weeks into this, right? It started Thursday before last, and we still have another 4 days to get. So we're 12 days into this, and people have gotten to this point already. It's really sad.
They're insane. Dude, people have already gotten everything they want. Flex got every single transmog amount that he wanted without a single gear upgrade. I have other friends who are max gear upgrades, and now they have 2.5 months to farm out the rest of the bronze, which they're going to get in less than a month. It's so crazy to me that people are so wild over this. It's like Plunderstorm when Plunderstorm came out. Oh my God, I'm never going to be able to get these. Well, if you play the game, weird things happen.
I would also just, if any Blizzard people are listening and are feeling really bad, I know the end gamers are having a really rough time. As a casual bad, I'm having a great time. Like, I'm living my dreams. If you're not good at this game, Remix is incredible. Time walk me some more. This is amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to second that. As an end gamer, also having a blast. So 10 out of 10, love Mop Remix. I love everything about it. I like the way it's designed. I really just like the people. Yeah, I'm all for Blizzard. Give me more of these remixes. They're great. And you know what? Release them just like this, because this is good content for at least 2 weeks for us.
Yeah. I love when people get mad. It's so much to talk about. I love other people's drama. Actually, I take back everything I said. Please go on Twitter and yell more. It's so fun.
You're putting my kids through college. Oh God, yeah. I gotta ask you guys a question. I wanted to put this through it, because like our next part is about the other balances that they have done for this game, and we have seen them change things so that we've got like threads at the end of dungeons and raids that like directly boost into the cloak, so you're getting like stats way faster from like dailies and such. We have seen them like increase the amount of bronze that you're getting from all these other sources that are not brain dead farms. So they're definitely continuing to approach this and give people options other than the like hyper efficient farms that people are finding, right? But I gotta ask you guys, if they were to do this again as like a event, what would you want? Like, what's the one thing that you would want them to change?
Can they pre-mute the people on Twitter that are terrible. That's my pick.
I
All I
don't think they can do that.
That's all I pick. I'll give them my Twitter login. They just can pre-mute the one. Just tell me the people that complained the most about a for fun event and that others were ruining their for fun event. And then pre-mute those people and then full send the exact same package we have now. I'll take it.
Okay. Gaming Aspect in chat says undo the frog nerf. And I gotta ask Gaming Aspect, but I'll put this question to my two co-hosts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you want them to have said, hey, you know what? We're not going to nerf anything. Farm as much as you want. If it's broken, I don't care. It's an experimental mode. Live with it. Find a way to go. Just hands off. This is how it's going live. We're not touching it. Would that be the fun way to for you to go?
Oh yeah, I actually think I am a little disappointed in this reaction, partially because based on the way this mode was sold and what seemed excited about it. Like, I think there should be unlimited farming. Like, I think they should put in more farms. Give me more things that I can kill on mass. Again, as a bad, but like, yeah, I think everyone should be allowed to farm whatever they want. If you want to never log off, you should be the most powerful player alive. Like, no, 100%. I actually genuinely think that there should have been more.
Yeah, so any game mode that launches with player versus player elements, balance it, tweak it, adjust it. You have to, because that's not fair. That's not fun. You can't have whirling firestorm one-shotting people. That needs to be balanced. But a PvE game mode with no leaderboards, no race to world first, no Raider IO score, and 90 days to do it, just send it. Take 30 days off, guys. Take a month off. Hit send and then relax. Watch what happens. Collect the data. Oh, because we keep saying, oh, it's 90 days, 90 days. Yeah, well, give them a month to figure it out. Let them have a watch for 90 days. And then at that 30-day mark, if they want to make changes, make some changes. I'm all for the bronze changes. Make that shit rain. Give us more bronze. Give us more threads. Right to the moon. And I've been upgrading my gear at full cost to upgrades. I fully expect probably around the 45-day mark, they're going to cut the cost to upgrade your gear in half. Don't care. I want to upgrade it now. Cool. When it gets cut in half, great. Happy for the people who waited. But yeah, I honestly think they should have just, but I don't think they could, because the vocal people online who were like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. And I got to tell you, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't think those groups exist. I don't think there's groups out there kicking people out for not doing enough damage when they're all doing 5 million, like two to three people doing 5 million damage can carry a heroic. They're not kicking anybody out because they don't care. They can solo. Like, nobody's getting like, oh, someone's. You can't even see that far on the damage meter. Nobody's getting kicked out from I think it's made up. I think it's a straw man argument that's made up. It hasn't happened.
It's like, how are you doing that much DPS yet being able to scroll that far down into the meter?
like it's insane.
Could you just do another 500 by not scrolling?
Yeah, I tell you where they get very little bronze, farm, and threads. It's on Twitter. So you're not getting any there. It doesn't drop from there. Get in to log in.
Manny, that's my answer. I think that what they should have done for the sake of podcasters like us is they should have made it so you could farm by complaining on Twitter.
Yes. Yeah. You get bronze per character. One bronze per character.
Tweet at your favorite podcast and we'll hand you 500 bronze per like.
And I gotta be honest, my intention, my plan going into Remix was to spend all of my bronze on cosmetics. And then if I had enough time and I wasn't miserable, mounts and toys in that order. I played with my friend whose gear is maxed out, and it made me want to be able to do that. I was like, that looks fucking fun. Sorry, that looks like a lot of fun.
I got a lot of work.
I want to do that, and I literally have dumped over 225,000 bronze, all of which I've gotten from quests, dungeons, world rares, and raids. No farms. I've done no hyperspawn farms. In the 3 days that I've been playing. So I head over. So I also challenge this is how much cloak a person should have if they were super active in the game, because mine is above where they think it should have been.
Yeah, but is yours above based on when they took the snapshot and they didn't have those extra things in because they increased from world bosses, they increased from rares. Those are all sources that they have increased. I've only killed
the world bosses once, and it was pre-buff.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I think full send. Let it go. Let us see what happens. Let us have fun because it doesn't matter. It's not retail. You know what I mean? And then you have people that are still playing season 4 complaining season 4 is not getting balanced. Like, oh, they're making changes to remix before they fix Ruby life pools. And it's like, give them a break. How big do you think this team is, man? And again, it's not fucking pie. There's not like we're putting our devs on remix instead of season. It's different teams. Sorry. Anyway.
Second all of that. I need to stop snapping on stream. If you ever hear a weird noise coming from me, it's because
I'll mute it out. just Lexus. just generally just like, you go, girl. I don't know.
No, I just gaming aspect in chat, which is like there's nothing wrong with that. I just picked a dungeon randomly out of my head. Ruby Life Pools is actually in a really great spot right now. Shout out to Ruby Life Pools. It's one of my 2 weekly keys that I like to run. So
okay,
that's why it's broken. It's fun. It's too enjoyable. Make it terrible.
Yeah. Manny, I want you to come back and play. I know you don't want to do endgame, but listen, we clear those raids every day, all of them, and I don't care if you do no damage, my friend. You can log in and put me on /follow. Come get some bronze and buy some transmog.
Isn't that giving you the victory, AFK man? I
No,
feel
it's
like
giving me a
you're
friend
trying
to
to
play
trick
with.
me into
It's giving me a friend to play with. I
Okay.
recruit a friend here. Lex, you can come too. We take bads. I'm a bad.
Do you take level 30s?
Yeah, I'll run normals. I don't care.
I think
Doesn't matter to me what difficult. It's all just bronze farming at this point.
Amazing.
think
I've like
that there are characters I do want to level up, and I might do that, but like to get them onto different servers, and it's just a hyper fast way to do that. We'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, I want people to have fun. Play the game how you want to play the game. I don't pet battle. You don't see me crying that pet X is overpowered on pet Y. I don't know anything. In case you can't tell, I don't know anything about pet. Including the names of the pets. Little Taragosa. There we go. I got one.
There you go. All right. So to cover
Nailed it.
off some information, so it's not just all of us ranting. They
that's
have
my
been-
job. You guys are stealing my vibe.
Because I'm drinking tonight. I'm
Oh,
having,
that's right.
Okanagan crisp apple cider.
Oh, yummy.
Yeah.
That actually sounds pretty good. Okay. They have made buffs, scaling changes, and quality of life updates to normal scenarios, normal dungeons, heroic scenarios, heroic dungeons, daily infinite bizarre quests. Now reward a cache containing 5 times as much bronze as it did before. They've improved the respawn rates of rares and treasures across Pandaria. They have increased the bronze and increased the drop rate of threads of time from airborne bronze. So now we've got Wowhead articles that's like, you could just fly around and never touch the ground because if you fly through them, it'll recover your vigor. Never touch the ground and get infinite bronze. That is now an option to you if you want to do that. And I swear that is more engaging than farming frogs in my mind. So maybe I'll give that a shot. We have the following changes to improve thread of time gains for the Cloak of Infinite Potential. They now have minor spools, lesser spools, and greater spools that now drop from raids and dungeons and all of the scenarios as well, right? They have a variety of stuff that's coming from the new, I don't want to say new, but like from the sources of solo and group, which means that you can do all of this stuff and get a ton of more bronze than they initially launched with. And hopefully that'll be good. One thing that I've always wanted to do is the Troves of the Thunder King. I still have keys on like my live characters for Trove of the Thunder Kings. How many expansions later where I'm like, I want to go back there and I want to get like as far as I can, because that was a really fun scenario. If you guys have done that since Pandaria, give it a shot.
Spoilers. I'm only in the Veil of Eternal Winds.
Okay.
No, Veil of 4 Winds.
This is the Thunder Isle that people were saying initially was kind of hard to get through because of the scaling and such. But there is a scenario where you get a key, you go through, and it's just Indiana Jones traps and booby traps, and you're trying to run through and get through the rooms. Think like proto Torghast, but no fighting. Just run through super fast. It was fun. I loved it. I compared it to Torghast, and that feels like a disservice. I swear it's fun, guys.
I believe you. They should nerf it though. I don't have any reason why they should nerf it, but you're ruining my fun.
Yeah,
by
Manny,
you
you
having
really
fun.
sound like you're enjoying this too much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be tweeting at Blizzard.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
There
I'll
we go.
retweet yours.
I need you to never smile again, Manny. So just FYI, this is a no fun zone.
I
This,
mean, that's
we
why,
play this
that's
game
why
with
it's
suffering.
audio first, so people don't have to deal with me smiling. It is really one of those like shit-eating grins for people who never watch live. You don't want to see this.
That's not true, Manny. You have a beautiful smile. But what you gotta do is you gotta be me, and you gotta like never mute your mic when you laugh. So somebody's just making a point in the background.
I like it. I like those laughs.
Well, thank you. They're not stopping. I'm not gonna start muting my mic.
Good.
There we go.
Manny, can we talk about nerfing Lex's mic?
That'll be post-show. We're gonna just go through. Okay, Lex, what's your gain at? No.
Just having way too much fun over there.
There we
Gonna
go.
remove the Lucky Charms from her mic or whatever. What the fuck those were called?
We really, honestly, Manny, if you're not married to the show name yet, we could absolutely name it the Murloc episode based on how often we're swearing.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
Can you not
I feel
just let
alone.
it go live like that? Nobody
No,
ever checks. for those
I would have to
explicit
put the
tags.
explicit tag on it, and that literally hurts. You don't want the explicit tag.
Oh, maybe that's my problem.
Yeah, not enough
Well, I
Murlocs.
Yeah, not enough Murlocs.
Which will also delay me getting you the audio log, by the way. You're causing the delay for yourself, too.
No, just send it to me because YouTube doesn't care.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. I
Really?
did a lot of research on what I was and was not allowed to say when I thought I was going to do YouTube, and then I never did YouTube.
Okay.
As
I
long
was
as we're
gonna
not
do-
making content specifically for children, and I don't think we are.
Oh.
I do have a Cabbage Patch Kid here, but
Oh no, now we've got product placement. We're screwed!
well, no, now we get some cash. Pay up, Mattel.
Mattel, famous for paying up. Anyway.
Famous for paying up.
Yeah, you know, those big companies, they get so many lawyers so they can make sure they're doling out the just rewards to other people engaging with their product. That's why they have whole legal teams.
There you go. There you go. And if
believe it.
you want to have your product put in this nice family-friendly podcast, feel free to email us.
That's right. Yeah, we have sponsorship slots open.
Okay. So
All right.
I think that generally, if people can just enjoy it and get around the noise that's happening, Pandaria is great, I would say. Everybody seems to be having fun. If you have to deal with the different camps, and it is different camps of small but very vocal people that are apparently getting more results than some of us would like, yeah, it can affect your experience for it.
Yeah, you're
Regardless.
gonna summon a Shaw. They literally go through like 20 quests. You can't go into Pandaria angry. Like, this is. Did you guys not listen to Lore Master Cho or whoever?
That is true. That is true. Just calm down.
Yeah,
But we'll see about the show title. With that said, let's switch out from Pandaria, looking towards the future. We've got new stuff coming to the War Within, specifically for raiding. There is a new mode, a 5th difficulty coming for the raid. It is not LFR, it is not normal, it is not heroic, it is not mythic, it is story mode. And story mode was data mined by one of the fan sites earlier on, and then a thread started on the forums, and Blizzard has now confirmed, well, not only its existence, but what their intentions are for this. So story mode is going to be a one-time sort of a thing that you can do. You can do it repeatedly, but it's meant to be a one-time thing that you do to get the story out of the raid. So many of World of Warcraft's like ultimate conclusions to whatever's happening in the patch occurs in the raids. It is stuff that where it's like, oh, the Sundered Flame are up to no good, and they're like trying to reclaim the legacy. Well, where do you find that? You find that in Aberrus, right? This I think is going to be it's something I wanted, and I think this is something that we were talking about before, where I said, well, like LFR is really kind of splitting itself, serving two masters, if you will. The people who want to know what in the world's going on, and the people who want gear out of it. And so a mode that is set for story seems really cool. What's your takes on this, Sean?
Ooh, my takes. I have one take. 9 out of 10, one note. This is an absolute banger. Do not make people wait for LFR. That's the only ask I have. I think this is needed. I think this is great. I love this. I'm happy for this. I have a friend who has been a solo player since original MOP. She had a poor experience in a guild, and then just, you know what? I'm just going to be alone now, and has played solo through the game ever since WOD started. And she doesn't get to see the closing of stories outside of a YouTube video until the next expansion, when she can go back and one man like solo the old raids. So this lets her see them, and if there's one person like that, there are more people like that. So I think 100% this is a huge win. Big happy for it. Just don't time gate it behind LFR. Put it whenever the last boss of the raid is available to the public in normal and heroic and mythic. That's when this should go live, so that people can see that story at the same time.
I would say, so first to give context, because that is a part of the news that I didn't explain.
Did you not mention that?
This is going live, supposedly with the last wing of LFR, and it is only the final boss of the raid. It's not the entirety of the raid. It is one encounter against the final boss of the raid. I'm trying to be a little bit coy there to avoid story spoilers, but in terms of when people experience this story, I can agree that like having it gated with LFR seems poor, but I will say that maybe Blizzard does something a little bit different. Go ahead, have it locked away, but as soon as we get our world first AOTC kill, I'm not even talking about wait for Mythic Week. As soon as we get that world first AOTC kill, the next day or next reset, I don't know how hard it is technically, right? Open up the story mode. Now everybody gets to experience it, right? I can understand
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
That works for me. I'll take it. All right, print it. Blizzard, if you're still watching, after Manny told you how mad he was at you for Mop Remix, Lex and I would like for you to print this.
Hey,
Lex, are you excited for
part of
story mode?
the Sean Lex gang? How are you thinking about story mode?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think this is really great. I'm really excited about how much World of Warcraft is focusing on allowing solo players to play. Especially because I do think, there's something worth saying that we are past the like golden age of World of Warcraft, where like every other person you passed on the street, you're wearing a World of Warcraft shirt and they're like, oh, for the Alliance. Like, we're no longer in that time. And I know I've had friends try to join World of Warcraft, maybe on a different server, maybe weren't like immediately wanting to jump in with my guild. And they were just like, there's nothing to do. Like, I am completely alone. If I don't do endgame, I don't feel like I have anything. And so I'm really excited for Delves, as everyone knows, because I don't shut up about it. And I'm really excited about story mode rating. I know I've heard some controversy in my circles about the fact that it's only the final boss. Personally, I really do like that, because I am genuinely very scared that we are overloading the devs right now. Just the sheer number of things that, like, now they're getting also like extra modes, and they're getting an expansion every other year, and we're we're pumping and pumping and pumping. And so I'm scared that if we also make them do a fifth rating mode, like, we are just begging these people to be on like constant crunch. But also, this is my most unpopular opinion. I am actually really pro LFR, and I wouldn't want it to be that everyone who isn't like that LFR kind of loses its meaning because everyone just does story mode if they aren't trying to push, and if they're not doing story mode, they do normal. frankly, I want more people to do LFR. I think everyone should be doing LFR. It's incredible. It teaches you so many things. There's so many ways to engage with it. And the only reason that it is toxic and sweaty is because we've abandoned it to the toxic, sweaty people. And if we had actual good players coming in and doing LFR on a regular basis, they would shut those people down and be fine. Not that this is what we're talking about. That's just my soapbox of the day. So I'm really pro story mode. I think that it's really good. I think that it gives people an opportunity to do the things that they want to do without stepping on toes of other modes that we don't want to go away. Yes, Sean.
I have one question.
Mhm.
I agree with you about LFR, by the way. We do often go in as a group, some of my guildies and I, and it's a good time with less sweaty people. My question though, where the Murloc do you live that people are just walking down the street screaming for the Alliance and for the Horde?
Whoa! I'll fight that. Like, I was wearing a Horde shirt, standing on the street corner. Car comes up, beeps, wind down the middle for the Horde. I was like, wait, what? Oh,
Really?
the shirt that I'm wearing. Yeah, it's
All
hot.
right, follow-up question: where do you? I gotta move to these towns.
What?
I live in a
Toronto,
small
baby!
rural
We're the center of the
community.
universe.
Yeah, I live in a small rural community. If you were on the corner of a street and a car stopped and yelled something at you, you'd have to call the police.
So I feel like this was a lot more true in like Wrath, right? So I don't know if this is a
This
technically
happened 2
defined
years
term.
ago. This is still current.
Oh yeah. So some people like Manny live in utopias.
Right.
Alas, some of us don't. But I feel like back when we were in the like classic through Wrath-ish mode, part of it is that I was a child, right? Like I was in middle school, and so we were all playing video games because we were middle schoolers. But it felt a lot more to me like any community you go into, if you mention World of Warcraft, like half the room is be like, "Oh, I play too!" Ha, ha, ha. And that just doesn't feel true anymore, right? Like it's not. It's still something that I can very easily find people, but it's no longer feeling like if I'm like, "Oh, what do you play? Oh, I play World of Warcraft." Oh, at least one other person in this group is going to play as well.
Yeah, the last time I was in a middle school classroom and I asked that, they were like, "Why are you here?"
Teacher? No.
Who's this sweaty man?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Sorry.
I would love to see story mode really double down on a story. I've said this on social media, but hey, you know what? You're listening to a show that I'm on, so I'm going to say it again here. I would love if the encounter is pretty easy to get through, like almost no fail state, that it is interrupted so that you can have these cool story moments that they wouldn't allow in a normal encounter because half the people want to skip it, right? And so that it's like I just want this like Nerubian spider queen not to just like crawl up the walls, but like be chewing up the scenery. Like I just want so much personality out of this, and they can do that when you're doing the Fyric fight. Right after you defeat him, it immediately gains control of the camera. It pans in so it can do that big thing. Do that in the middle of a fight. Like, oh, phase 1, and instead of it, like, she immediately goes to phase 2, little cinematic, like, oh, heroes, now my real power, or whatever, right? Twirls mustache and stuff. And then you go into phase 2. Do that. Stuff that you wouldn't do in a large multiplayer environment because everybody is about their time, right? And now you're in a private group, so if I want to skip it, so be it, right? But at least I'm not affecting the gameplay because I chose to skip it. And my group that I personally invited don't do this through any kind of group finder, Blizzard. This is walk up to the dungeon with my group that I've already arranged. We're all on the same page and go and do this. And also, no repeatable loot. I'm okay with a one-time drop, right? But I don't want people going back into this over and over again because they want the gear, which means that if you don't like the story, if you don't like the cinematics, you never have to see it again. There is nothing pulling you to do it. But if you're there and you want that story, and it's like, oh man, that was so much fun. Lex, did you notice this? No, I didn't. Come on, Lex, group up with me. We're gonna go do it again, right? That's the kind of people I want doing it over and over again. Right? And it's the same thing that we see. Let's not talk about our previous subject, but a less controversial thing. It's the same sort of thing that we saw with the dialogue in Mythic Plus. with the mega dungeon, there was all this conversation that was cut down. When we had back in previous seasons, we had God King Skullvald, and it's like, shut up, Skullvald, you're wasting my timer. But they can do that in a cinematic mode that never touches anything to do with the more competitive modes, including LFR, if you want to consider LFR to be a competitive mode. And so I want it dedicated to story. That's what I want.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was actually just thinking of saying that what I really want is I want story mode in Mythic, because there's nothing, or Mythic Plus, I mean. Because it is really annoying when you're fighting a timer and like, oh, now we're gonna stop and roleplay. Like, but on the other hand, there's some really fascinating, beautiful story in those that I wouldn't want lost, and I would want to be able to access. And I think it's a little bit the same in Raid, right? Where, especially with the end bosses, where you're gonna kill them 100 times or hit them 100 times before you kill them, like. The cinematics that come in the middle of it just get annoying. Like, oh, you think I'm running? Shut the fuck up. Sorry, Manny.
Work.
Like, that's really cool. Like, it objectively is cool. It's just not cool on the 99th time when all I want to do is go in and do my actual encounter. And so I think allowing that to separate out is a really. It's good for everyone. It means the people who are, doing. I'm sure it's even worse for the Mythic for World First Raiders, right? I'm so pour one out for you guys every single time we've had a cutscene in the middle of a fight. So I think that it is a win for everyone.
Yeah,
actually, you kind of sparked an idea in my head. When you do follower mode, you can like talk to the follower outside the dungeon and be like, yeah, I really want to know what's happening, or whatever little extra dialogue option to get expanded dialogue and sequences, or just like by default, it's just run it through as the dungeon should normally be.
Oh, I love that.
Lex 10 minutes ago. I don't want them to do another full dungeon mode, raid mode, because I'm worried we're taxing the developers too much. Manny, 3 minutes ago. I want more in-fight cutscenes.
Do it. Listen, Terry Gregory, I'm sorry, man. I love your work. I just want more. More.
Alas, he's too good at his job.
More in-fight cutscenes.
Like,
I want
we're
cutscenes.
In cutscenes. Though it's just, the poor guy, he puts out these 2.5Ds and they struggle to fit them in somewhere in the cinematic. You know what? Make it like Frank's Red Hot. Put that on everything.
Yeah.
The second product placement.
How have we not been calling me the Sean of anger?
That is great.
I was thinking of that while Manny was trying to add work to the cinematic team. I was like, oh, that would make me angry. Wait a second. Shaw of anger. Wait a second. My name sounds like Shaw. Yeah. Anyway, I waited a long time to say that. I want you guys to appreciate that.
We appreciate your restraint.
Yeah.
Okay. So, story mode, it's cool. It is going to be just the one boss. I think that this is a test case. I know you're talking about that you don't want to have more work, but I don't think you can do every dungeon where it's just the last boss. Think about like
Sepulchre of the for dungeons. I don't think Lex didn't want. No, Lex was saying that the concern is just the last boss in the raid. Like, no.
So I think adjusting a raid boss to make it so that you can do story mode raid with one person, like that is a huge ask, right? Balancing so that you can go from like abilities that are spec'd out to 20 people and require coordination. That's really big, right? Especially now that, like Sean was saying, we already have have followers in normal dungeons. I mean that would, again, we are putting more work on the story team, but hire Christy Oldenback. But sorry, I shouldn't say. I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but that the level of work it would take, or even just more so, what I want is just the dungeons that we already have, but they just like hard cut the roleplay, right? For Mythic Plus, like more adjust up, like make it so that it can be done faster and you don't have to sit and wait while somebody rides in a stupid little boat in Nighthold. And less completely rework the boss fights the way that they are just objectively going to have to do to make story mode possible in Raid. That would be an absolute nightmare if they're doing that for like 10 bosses every expansion.
Yeah. I think that, yeah, it's good that they are pinpointing just the story moment bosses and then limiting to that for the workload that you're talking about. I don't think that's possible in every boss. Like, I think of Sepulchre of the first ones, and I don't think you could skip Anduin. There's no way you do a story mode for that and skip Anduin, right? So that's one that needs at least 2 bosses. I don't think you do every raid where it's only going to be one, and therefore maybe that's why they tie it to the LFR wings coming live. But I would still think that it's like, hey, this boss is now being defeated at the heroic level. You know that it's being data mined. The only subset of players that you're worried about are the players who are ignoring all the media coverage and all the third-party stuff, right? And are now progressing on their own and are keeping their head in the sand to not see it. Well, they can just also be adults and opt not to click into the story mode if they so choose. And if they make that option, they have now given their like tacit consent that they wanted to experience it at that point. And I think so. We were talking about Blizzard kind of babying or controlling how people play. This is another one where it's like, okay, hey, let players make their own bed.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and don't listen to the whiners. Sorry, don't listen to the people with concerns.
Yeah, I love that, Sean. Don't listen to people with concerns, Blizzard. If somebody has a problem with your game,
there may be some nuance that you're missing there.
Maybe no. I want to co-sign that firmly with no nuance.
Oh, yeah, good.
If someone bug reports, throw it away.
Yeah.
Just they log back on to live servers and it's just like, well, I've got mail. It's like bug report rejected.
Yeah. We reject your bug report. This is working as intended. Has anybody else been bug reporting every spider in the beta and the alpha? Bug. I've just been filling them with bug reports. This is a bug.
Oh no.
I'm helpful.
There should just be like at a certain point there should be like a NPC that like comes and like tracks you down and like just destroys your character, one shots your character.
No.
Okay. Well, this has been a lot of fun, a little ranty of an episode. We do
ranty episodes are good episodes, Manny. This was good content, good radio. I'm glad we were not all on the same side. Because it would have been really boring if we were all like, yeah, the community is the worst.
Well, community is the worst, but I have a different take on why the community is the worst now.
That's right. Yeah, we all think they're worse for different reasons.
There you go. But we do have a viewer question because we actually listened to your input. So this week we took a question from Xander. And Xander asks, what is your guys and gals' best guess on on when the War Within pre-patch will go live, and coincidentally, what date do you predict the War Within will launch? And then they go on to say that their predictions are
not yet.
No, not yet. Okay, we'll give Xander's predictions slightly later, but first, let's have Sean. What do you get?
I have the dates.
Okay, all right.
You ready? You can put this in your calendar. You can book your vacation from work. I have them locked in.
Okay.
You ready, fam? Mr. Pandaria Remix ends on August the 19th. It's a Monday. They want us to be able to use the characters from MOP Remix in the War Within. It's a tool to draw players back who may have let their sub-laps. The tool to let people build a bunch of alts and have a fun little alt army, determine what their main's going to be. So it will not launch before that ends because they're going to want those characters to be able to hit pre-patch right away. They also don't want to have a delay. So I predict pre-patch hits Tuesday, August 20th, the day after MOP Remix ends. And 4 weeks later, on September 17th, which falls in line with the roadmap, all of this, we get the War Within launch date. And then we'll have a boat about a month before they hit us with the, you get that month in, you get that bit of a dip in the content, and then bam, 20th anniversary. Here's all of the fun stuff we have planned for 20th anniversary. Or 6 weeks, I guess, because there's October there. Forgot October. Completely forgot a whole month.
Lex,
Those are my dates. Yeah, those are my dates. 20th and then the 17th.
Lex, do you agree with those dates? Or you have different dates of your own.
The thing is that if we all say the same date, it's going to be really boring.
But you
okay,
can just
Manny.
say I have different dates. I can fight this.
So I think that they're going to drop War Within pre-patch on June 11th because I want it soon. And I think War Within is going to be coming on July 4th because it's freedom. That's my take.
That is
bold strategy,
bold.
Sean. Let's see if it plays out.
Actually, wait. I can argue this. I can make this argument because I can't argue the pre-patch. That's insane. But July 4th, because they started with Mop Remix. They started on a Thursday. Why would they want to do dropping a patch on a Thursday? They're testing it because they, as an American company, want to celebrate they would like to release this so they can celebrate America's independence, our independence from Dragonflight. It's War Within, July 4th.
All right, let's write it down. I guess nobody knows, right?
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
I want to say that some guests are as good as others, but I also just listened to Lex.
I would like to predict that Manny's going to predict. I'm predicting Manny's prediction that he's going to predict that the War Within launches on the same day in November that original Warcraft launched, because it's a 20-year anniversary, and they're going to launch it to restart the War with the World Soul Saga on the same day that original Warcraft launched on like November 6th or something.
No, I predict that they will completely avoid it.
I'm a bad predictor.
I would put money on that they would avoid having that kind of overlap. They would have the event there so that it stands on its own, separate from any other patch stuff happening. Also, we would also see stuff in the data mining that would point towards anniversary stuff.
Don't come at us with math.
Ooh, it's not math.
Not on this show.
It is data, but it's not math. I'll predict that. There we go. Facts. Okay.
I'm Manny Key Manifesto. I've got facts.
Okay. I sincerely doubt that any kind of beta test scenario lasts less than 6 weeks. Generally, want to give them 2 months, right? I don't think we're getting beta this week. I think we're getting beta actually next week, if I were to take a guess at it. We still are waiting on a entire hero spec for the rogues. I know earlier in an early episode I had said that we had the last one with shamans. No, it looks like rogues got screwed more than shamans. Go figure. Anyways, and you cannot have a beta that actually prescribes to beta without having all features actually active. Betas have to be feature complete, period. Anyways, for that reason, I think we've got at least 2 weeks left in alpha. Beta release, roughly 8 months. I don't think you do a live simultaneous launch on a Tuesday. I think it's either going to be a Monday or it's going to be something like a Thursday. They typically want to have a day afterwards to make sure things are stable and such before they take off for the weekend. So I know people are pointing at Tuesdays. Don't point at Tuesdays. It's probably going to be Monday or Thursday for the launch. Now, for when we get the actual beta, remember that they are going to have people coming in. The pre-patch rather. Remember that they're going to have people who want to come in and use their characters, but remember that they also want some stability, make sure that everything's working right before they unleash characters into an event. So I actually push it back a week from when Pandaria ends. I think they have Pandaria end, they put out the new patch so that they can clean out all that data and it just isn't in the build. We already talked about spaghetti code. They want a build that doesn't have legacy code from like Plunderstorm or from Pandaria. So I suspect You're right that a build will show up right after the launch, or sorry, the conclusion of Pandaria. But I suspect there's going to be at least a week before an event happens, just so they can make sure everything's stable before the event goes live. Beyond that, I think, Sean, you got some pretty good guesses. I'll just shift them based on what I just said. So
Oh, you
1
think
week
Sean
later,
has good guesses? You don't think I have good guesses?
Wow,
Manny?
Manny.
Lex,
Yeah,
I just
get it
want to
together,
be
wow.
objective. Lex, those glasses on point, right? Smile on fire. Your guess is trash.
Manny hates 4th of July, confirmed. He hates
Manny
freedom.
hates America.
What are you talking about? Look, shirt blue, background red and white. I got America, baby.
Yes, stand with us, Manny. We're going to be getting War Within on July 4th.
Listen, everybody knows that Independence Day is just an excuse for people to celebrate my birthday weekend. Moving on.
Okay, what did Xander say? What were his guesses?
Xander
Let's see what the
has
adult
the
in the room said.
has the pre-patch prediction of August 20th, which lines up with what you were saying.
Great guess. Xander's
Okay.
a smart. I've always said Xander's a smart guy.
Yeah,
I've
I
said this for a long time.
feel like you guys both made the same
many people
mistake.
said Xander knows predictions. Many people are saying it. Everybody's talking about it. I once had a big, strong guy come to me. He was a Marine. He came up to me. He was crying, and he was like, "Xander really knows his predictions." And I was like, "Yeah, Xander's pretty good at predictions." He was like, "Thank you, Mister."
Mr. Military Man almost gave away the joke there. Okay. Xander then goes on to say that the launch will be September 17th.
What I said, listen, I don't know Xander personally. I've never met him. I've never met him, but I've heard good things. I've heard a lot of people talking. Many people have said it. Xander really knows his predictions.
So,
Plus, the 3 days early access that we get would mean that we get that early access going into a weekend, which is typically when you want it.
So I will say, to give exact dates, right? We have Pandaria ending 19th. The patch that includes the pre-patch event 20th, right? But the pre-patch not until either the 26th or the 29th. And you can jot these down. Okay?
You can't pick a range of dates, man. He's like,
No,
between
I'm saying, okay,
26th
fine.
and
I'll put it out.
Christmas.
I'll put it out on I'll put it out on the 29th. Okay? Global oh sorry, no. This is pre-patch. So pre-patch I'll actually say on the 27th in NA. Okay? So that people don't go like, "Oh, it happened in the UK on the 28th and then in another place in the 28th or 29th. Whatever. 27th NA. Okay? Pre-patch event happens for roughly 2 weeks, which means I'm putting the global launch for this on, I'm going to say the 12th.
That's a really short. Okay, I know
2 weeks for
I know we
pre-patch
joked about-
stuff.
I know we joked about no predictions or bad predictions, but a 2-week pre-patch is really short.
Yeah, that's
For
the
the
worst prediction
launch?
anyone's made today,
Okay,
actually.
Think about what
That
I
is,
just
yeah.
Think about what I just did.
Chat agrees. Chat agrees. That is the worst prediction. anyone-
This is a simple pre-patch event. It's going to be like 2 weeks. Like, remember the War of Thorns? We had 1 week of like one part. Second week was the next part.
Wait, what was the
2
War of
weeks.
Thorns?
That was BFA's pre-patch,
Oh, yeah, sorry.
right?
Continue.
Yeah.
You can make your
Okay.
bad predictions because it's going to be July 4th, but you guys can keep going.
Okay. Also, remember we have a 3-day advance. So
Dude, we're gonna be so mad if it's July 4th.
you know what? I will buy an Americana hat, and we will have our first week of like, how did it go? It's like, I don't know, guys. I was too busy celebrating freedom.
Yeah, I'm gonna get an I Heart Lex flag and hang it up in the back
Oh
of my
my
room here if it's July.
You know what?
4th.
Actually, I changed it. I'm getting the I Heart Lex flag. That's what we're doing.
Can I just
Yeah.
say this is to any the Blizzard developers who we know who are listening to this, you have an opportunity to do something fucking hilarious here.
Why are you guys keep giving me so much work?
My bad.
Lex 30 minutes ago. I don't really want to add much more work to Blizzard's plate. Lex now.
Sorry, is it Manny a Blizzard dev?
We
I don't
need
care
this
about Manny.
now.
I don't think Manny's overworked. That guy could roll in a hill and die after he edits this episode.
Yeah, exactly. You get it, Manny. That's exactly. If nobody care about you, develop my game.
Oh,
Guys, this was a lot of fun episode. I really enjoyed this.
yes, guys, this was truly fun. I know I've got a lot of work left to do, but I hope that you guys enjoy it after what I have to do. Until
Just don't
next
put the
time.
explicit tag on it. Just let it go with the curses.
Yeah,
Somebody
what are
would
they
have
gonna
to
do,
report
Manny?
that.
Shut us down?
No, I
Take
think-
down the entire show?
I
Cancel
feel
us?
like
Tweet
feel
about
like-
us?
I literally have a question on my other show where I ask people to say their favorite curse word, and I've not once used the explicit tag.
Wait, really?
do you have episodes where they swear less than over 3 times?
Yeah,
Then
I'm in them. I'm in all of those episodes. There's definitely more than 3 curses.
Okay. Then there can be an issue. I don't know.
Yeah, Manny, just
Anyways.
corrupt the youth. Make it so that
Yeah.
Guys, when we're not corrupting the youth, you can check us out on the Faz Discord. That is bit.ly/Faz Discord. And until next week, may all your effing hits be effing crits. Good night.